friends, you just found me again here in the shop. It's getting colder outside as winter's coming on, and it's just that much more fun to be here in the shop doing some of the little projects we've got around here to do. Today I want to do a project with you, and that is clean up this nice little hammer. I think I shared when I picked this up what kind of hammer this is, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to pause the video now and put what you think this is in the comments and let me know what kind of hammer this is. When I first picked it up, I thought I would turn a wooden handle and put it on there and I could make that look nice, but as I've been doing some research on these, most of these are done with a stack leather handle. So we'll probably take a wire wheel over the whole thing, get all the rust off, the surface rust off, and then we'll take and dunk it in the rust remover, and while it's soaking we'll get the leather pieces cut out. So put there in the comments what you think it is, and when we come right back I'll let you know. So this is a Slate roofer's hammer, and the Slate roofer used this in combination with what's called a Slate roofer's anvil. I did a video on this probably 2.5 years ago or so on a set like this, and I will go ahead and try to put that in the description so that you can go back and look at that and see what the anvil looks like and everything. But this hammer here I saw at the store, thought I'd go ahead and pick it up. And you can tell, of course, this is the hammer end that you drive your nails, but whenever you want to put a little hole, they would just tap that slate and it would pop a little hole in the slate, and then you put your nail through there and you could hammer it in. But then they also had these angles, these grinds on both sides, and that's what you used with the anvil. And if you needed to take and cut or shape your slate in any way, you would take and use this part right here to chop off what you did not need. So let's go ahead and take this over and run the wire wheel on it and get it soaking, and we'll get to cutting out the leather handle for it. There we go, all fixed up. Got it all cleaned up. Got the rust all removed on it. I don't know if you can see right there, there's an 8. I don't know if that means it's 8 inches across here. I'm not really sure what that is. But then you can see the Pexto insignia, made in the USA, underneath there. So there's a lot of pitting, I know that. Tried to clean this end up a lot. This here is, I got the handle stacked on there. You saw the stacked leather handle. And I want to tell you something. I learned something about using these conditioning belts on leather. These conditioning belts work wonderfully for burnishing leather. This is the fine. I don't think it's the extra. I think there's one more that's a little bit finer than this. I've got the 3. I've got the coarse, medium, and fine. I think there's an extra coarse and an extra fine, or a super fine, something like that. But I've got the 3. This is the finest one I have. And it just burnished that leather so nicely. Nice and smooth. And then I was able to put a coat of... This is Obanoff's Heavy Duty LP, and I got a little bit of that on there. I think all of this stuff is a beeswax base, and when you massage it, it liquefies and just will soak right in. It's a nice, it gives you a good grip, and yet it's dry. So I was really happy with the way this worked out, burnishing the leather with this belt and then putting the Obanoffs on. Worked wonderfully. Let me reposition the camera here and show you. You see, I did one of these a few years back, and this one here is a little bit more of a generic type, but let me show you how they work, because I also have the anvil over here. So hopefully you can see this. This here is just a stump, and you take a baton, a wood piece, and you just pound this anvil down into the stump. And then this has a bevel on the one edge, and so this here is to pop your holes in the slate for the nails. Then you can take and shape your piece by setting your piece on top of the anvil, and then you just slide the knife, that bevel from the hammer, you just chop, and it will shape. You can take a corner off of your slate or however you want to do it. But this is the anvil, this is the hammer. You can pull your nails there. And then this newest one that I have has a bevel on both sides, so you can punch your holes, you can use the anvil and shape it how you need to. Then you're able to drive the nails home to put the slate on the roof, and if you need to redo one, if one breaks, you've got your claw to be able to pop it off. And so there are our slate roofing tools. The hammer, the 2 hammers with the anvil, and they work really quite well. So here's another great project, all finished up. Love how that handle came out. It just burnished up so nicely with that conditioning belt, and then the Obanoffs just gives it a nice finish and texture to it. It's not as slick as Estwing hammers, and yet this here is just as smooth as the Estwing hammers, but it's got a real nice grip to it with that Obanoffs on there. A lot of pitting, but all the rust is gone. You saw all of the markings on here. The integrity of the hammer is still intact. I love that nice long claw, I guess that's what you'd call it. It is a whole lot sharper on that end than the other one that I did. The other one's kind of generic, and this one here I would think would pop those holes better. You just tap slate and you can punch a hole in the middle of it, and this worked great. We do have a home over here on the wall. Let's put it down here where we can see it. And there we are. We can demonstrate that proudly and be able to see it with the rest of the tools here on the wall. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. If you know somebody else that enjoy this content, please send them the link. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I think we're just a little bit shy right now of 6,000 subscribers. It'd be great to be able to hit that by the end of the year. And I think you guys can help me out with that. So guys, until next time, here's to you. Have a great day. God bless.